They were offering shares between $44 and $49, and they priced at $46. What do you make of this mid-range pricing and what it actually means for the rest of the IPO market?
Hi, Sherry. There was some concern going into it that Birkenstock was a bit rich on the valuation. The pricing right below the midpoint, I think, is an indication of that. Of course, a lot's going to depend on what happens when it starts trading tomorrow. Being such a well-known consumer brand, it has the chance to attract investors that might not come to lesser-known sectors. And what it means going forward is that it's probably the last of 4 big IPOs that really kind of broke open the market again after almost 2 years of a drought for IPOs in the U.S. It followed SoftBank-backed ARM, the chip designer, also a company called Klaviyo, email marketing, and of course Instacart, another popular consumer brand. While Instacart has not performed well as a public company, Birkenstock has one thing, of course, that Instacart and some other consumer-facing companies that have gone public in the last few years haven't, which is that it's got a consistent record of profitability. And that's seen as something that'll be a benefit to at least its shares going forward.
So, Michael, what other companies are waiting in the wings at the moment?
Oh, there's a lot of them. Our Bloomberg stories from the deals team have had a lot of, this company is looking at banks, considering an IPO. It appears that considering of some of the volatile situations in the U.S. in terms of government shutdowns, which would affect IPOs because it would limit the ability of the SEC to process IPO filings, 2024 seems to be the next watershed moment for IPOs in the U.S. It's an array of companies, some of which you've heard of, some of which might be more mid-range, like Cohesity. Game Change Solar is another one we've reported on recently, and companies of that ilk. A lot of startups would have been waiting in the wings for quite some time, looking for the right moment to move.
Now that Birkenstock is public, how are we expecting them to build on their brand?
Oh, I think the thing with Birkenstock is if you ask anybody out there what Birkenstock brings to mind, they have an image of it. It's got a strong brand. It's that wide brown leather strap sandal, sort of good for hipsters and hippies or monks or moguls. People like them. It has this chance to build on its brand, but if you look at their website, that's not what they're putting at the top of it. There's a lot of women's fashion especially, which is coming in. They've got some deals going and partnerships with companies like Dior, Valentino, which promise to take the brand to sort of a next level. It's become a higher fashion retailer. And also, one of the things which it really has going for it, which I'll admit surprised me, is the cross-generational appeal. If you look at the breakdown between, for example, baby boomers and millennials, they're each about 30% of their sales, which bodes very well. And even Gen X is pretty close behind those, as well as even Generation Z for that matter. Right. So they've got a lot to work with, and they seem to be set up to expand into new areas.